They're only 3 months old.
A little girl and a little boy, double trouble.
And her mate has been shot in the paw. Even if they survive, their injuries might never heal. Adult agile wallabies stress if captured. They can suffer muscle spasms and die. But joeys seem to do well.
Baby wallabies certainly enjoy human interaction. They bond very quickly with their mother figure. You hear them sometimes in the clinic calling, "Mum, Mum, where are you?"
Agile wallabies, they're the most common wallabies up here and the only ones found on the Tiwi Islands. This wallaby would have still been in its pouch when its mother was shot. People would have shot it to eat.
In fact, they'd normally have been in the pouch for another 5 months. If not rescued, they'd have soon died. And they're not out of the woods yet. Both have serious injuries.
A bit of bullet has gone from there up and it's actually lodged up here, but in the process it shattered the hip. We'll definitely need to take an X-ray and find out how bad the pelvis is broken and what we need to do about it. Okay.
It's bad news.
Poor thing, aren't you?
And her mate has been shot in the paw. Even if they survive, their injuries might never heal.
You're a bit tired of this, are you?
The first has a damaged pelvis.
Injury in his hand there.
His mate was shot in the paw.
You can see it's all swollen.
Ouch.
It's
Okay,
quite...
that's no good. Yeah. You can see how swollen that wrist is compared to the other one. And there's actually a hole there and there's another hole on the other side. They use their hands as much the same way as we do for picking up food and holding things and all that sort of stuff. And so in the same way their wrists are fairly useful for doing all sorts of things, theirs are too. And if their wrists are fused, they find it a lot more difficult to sort of cope and... Yeah, there's some movement in there. I will need to take an X-ray of that.
It's been a rough time for the little joeys. Shot, orphaned, and now headed for X-rays, where their future is far from certain.
At the front end? Okay.
While Tommy struggles with his croc, the wallaby's fates hang in the balance.
I'll just come around this way.
Ready?
Yep.
X-ray.
These X-rays will reveal what Stephen and Lisa can do to help them.
X-ray. Oh, is it a bit scary, is it? A bit traumatic? Come on.
A feed from carers will help the joeys regain their strength. But sadly, the news isn't good for that broken paw.
This is the one with the injured wrist, and you can see that the bullet has just gone straight through. It hasn't lodged in there, it's just gone through, shattered all the little bones in here and gone out the other end. There isn't really any surgery that we can do to fix that. Most of those bones there have been destroyed.
This little bloke will just have to learn to live with his injury. Then he'll be released back into the wild and join a mob of 10 or more other wallabies. But the second joey, shot through the hip, faces a tougher journey.
This is the bullet here. The fracture that we could also feel is down here in the top of the pelvis there. This is the normal side, and you can see it's a nice straight white line with a little sort of bobble on top. But over on this one, it's jagged, and it's got a jagged edge there, and there's sort of black, dark area where the bullet's gone. That's going to require surgery, and that's going to have to happen pretty much straight away. This is the little wallaby with the pellet in its back and the fractured pelvis. And we're going to do surgery shortly, and we're just waiting for it to go to sleep now. Initially, we're going to remove the bullet, and then we're going to cut down onto the fracture of the pelvis.
It's a big operation for a little wallaby, but it's Stephen and Lisa's best chance of giving her a normal life.
That's always the crunch is what we're going to do enough to make them able to be released in the future. That's always worth trying.
So we're just going to cut down on this bullet here.
They know the pellet is sitting just under the surface.
Okay, there's the bullet. See that there? It's a very superficial bullet, but fixing the damage that this little bullet already did is going to be the hard bit.
With the pellet out, they're moving to her fractured hip. The hope is to insert a plate to make it stronger.
At the moment I'm just looking to try and find where the other bit of bone is. I can see one side of the pelvis, so I'm just trying to find the other side of the fracture. The bone's just been crushed by the bullet.
The wound is far worse than Stephen expected.
Wasn't that clear on X-ray because the bones are still quite soft.
Rather than being able to plate it, there's probably not going to be enough bone surface to put the screws into.
With nowhere to screw the plate, all Stephen can do is remove the bone fragments.
We've removed what we can and we've filed off the end so it should be nice and smooth, and we're going to close the wound back up.
It's not a perfect outcome for the Joey, but Stephen's done his best, and they've at least given her a fighting chance.
At this stage it's hard to say what her prognosis is. We're just going to have to sort of see how she recovers.
They'll soon find out if she'll ever hop again. With Stephen at the quolls, Lisa's on her way to check the little wallaby recovering from the gunshot wound. The wallaby's been staying with Lisa's mum. She's a registered carer. In fact, most of the wildlife treated at the Ark needs to convalesce for a time before they're released, and that happens in the homes of volunteers. Sandra routinely gets up 2 or 3 times a night to feed recovering possums and wallabies.
I love my mum. I dump things on her at all times of the day and night. Every time I'm in a position where I've got an animal, a small animal that I can't find a carer for, or comes in, 10 to 7 just when we're closing and it's too late to find someone to look after, I just pick it up and take it home.
Today, Lisa's going to remove the stitches from the little shot wallaby's operation. She's been recovering well, and Sandra's nicknamed her Chantel.
Hello.
Hi, how you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Got the crowd out, I see.
Yeah, Romeo's just trying to make up his mind whether he wants to drink or not.
Hello, fat fella. And where's Madam Chantel?
She's in the bag there.
Hello.
She's doing really well.
Did I hear you being cranky before? Hey?
Yeah.
Did I hear you being cranky? Yes, I did. Yes. How's your leg?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good, really.
See, that looks really good. This is where they took the slug out of her sides.
Yeah. I'm really pleased with the way it's come along.
Yeah, she looks good. Thank you.
I'll be glad when those stitches are out and I don't have to worry about them.
The stitches come out quite easily. It's just a matter of a little nick on one side and then the whole thing comes out. Good deal.
Okay.
The surgical site looks really good. I can't feel any bone movement underneath the stitches at all, because there was a lot of fragmentation and stuff in there, but it's looking really good. I'm really looking forward to seeing how well she does on the ground. So, what do you reckon, little one? We'll give you a go on the ground and see what you do for me. Oh, how's that? She's doing really well. She's got two solid feet on the ground. She's leaning on her hips. I'm really happy with that.
Chantel will stay in care for about a year. At that age, she'll be independent enough to return to the wild.
When she had the surgery, I was a little bit doubtful as to whether or not she was going to have full use of that hip, but you can see she's doing really, really well. This is a really good result. I'm really happy with this. She's going to be able to go on and be released.